What's the idea of deporting United States citizens? Let me get this camera straight so we can get into it. You know what we're waiting for though, right? Hope everybody had a good evening. We waiting for this guy. We ready. Are you? Yes, we made it another day, y'all. That's right. July the 3rd. Let's go. I know, no, 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 no. Are you gonna come on point today? I know, no, 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 no. What are we talking about? I know, no, 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 no. 1 minute, 2 seconds. Let's go whenever you're ready to go. Anytime now, we're ready for you. Let's try it now. Come on. Bling, bling, bling. Any minute. Bling, bling, bling. We've been waiting. Yeah. And let me tell y'all something, I really need this because I fell asleep in the chair. I was really asleep right there with a suit on and everything. Thought that I was good. But guess why? Because, ooh, my first mistake was I wanted too much time. I had to have her morning, noon, and night, right? You know why? Because if, pump that beat. It's Thursday, July 3rd. That's right, y'all. 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this here's our bottom line. Where we be talking about this and that, and that, and this, and this, and that, and that. Where we be talking about this and that, and that, and this, and this, and that. Just got me pissed. That's right, y'all. I was asleep, knocked out. But guess what? We up now, we did our thing, and we back for another episode of Our Bottom Line. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. It is July the 3rd. That's right, tomorrow is July the 4th. Not today. Everybody's saying, oh, yo, the 4th coming up, the 4th coming up, the 4th coming up. Y'all been talking about the 4th since the 5th last month. I can't wait for the 4th to come so y'all can stop talking about the 4th. All this preparation for one day, but I ain't hating. Hope you guys are gonna have a fantastic weekend. Everybody stay safe. Don't be playing around with too much of those you know what's, messing around losing your digits and stuff like that. You guys be safe, watch the kids, and make sure that everybody's having a fantastic day. I know I am. Why? Because y'all could have went anywhere. The fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys so much. Who do I appreciate? Young Wolf, good morning, guys. We got Mark Dorfman in the building. We got Rebecca Lanyen Bueno from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We got Bill Andy. Haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing, Bill Andy? We got Jennifer up in the building. We got Mark Dorfman, like I already said. Jeffrey Spiker, good morning, Sir Bugatti. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm having a good one just like you. Who else we got up in the building? I already said that we already got Natalie in the building from Syracuse. That's right, that's where she's from, you guys. Hope everybody having a good one. I got a full lineup to go into. Fully loaded clip, and let's get into these titles. Let's go for it right now, you guys. What do we have in this header right now? We have Trump floats the idea of deporting United States citizens. Are you talking about naturalized citizens that were born here, or are you talking about people that became citizens once they got here, paperwork and stuff like that? We'll get into it. I think I just made a mistake because that's probably what they call it. But let's keep on moving forward anyway, you guys. Like I said, Trump floats the idea of deporting United States citizens. What do you guys think about that? We got to keep on moving forward because we got next in the lineup is Shawn P. Diddy Combs. The trial is coming to a close What will the verdict be? Yes, we know the verdict is already in. The verdict in the Shawn P. Diddy Combs trial is out of 4 charges. He's been charged for 2, and the other 2, which were the most severe, he has not been charged with, you guys. We got to keep on moving forward. We have the clip. We'll get into it and break that down. Last but not least, what do we have? California fireworks warehouse catches a fire and explodes, sending fear throughout the entire area. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys a crazy clip. Fireworks, like I'm talking about right now. Be careful. All of these places that are doing these fireworks and kids out here right now, that you don't want anything to happen to their hands, fires and things of that nature. So yes, we got to be extra cautious. Not trying to scare anybody. We can still have some good fun, but at the same time, I want you guys to make sure that you're very vigilant and diligent and being careful about what you guys do this weekend. Let the adults light the fireworks and the kids can just enjoy what's going on. But me right now, we got work to do. So guess what? We're gonna get into this first clip right now. What do we have here? We're gonna do what? I got 5 on it. We're gonna stack 5. We're gonna come back to the comments, and then we're gonna see what you guys have to say, and that's how we're gonna run the showdown this morning, you guys. What do we have going on right now? We've got this crazy, shocking moment where a reporter was talking about Morcus. Do you guys remember Morcus? And they're basically saying that he may be arrested because of, let them tell you. Let's get into it, you guys. And again, let me know where you're chiming in from. Love to know where you're chiming in from.
Julio Rosas, Blaze Media, sir. A couple months ago, I ran into former DHS Secretary Mayorkas, and I asked him a couple questions about his disastrous handling of the border. He didn't like my questions. But the number one question that I heard from people in responding to my video was, why hasn't he been arrested yet? Obviously you guys are cleaning up the mess that was made deliberately for the past 4 years, and so people want accountability. It's great to see that the border is secured, and it's great to see the state level cooperation. But I guess I would ask you, why hasn't he been held accountable, or anybody? Really
Pardons were given out by to many people, and they shouldn't have been given out. Like the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs was given a pardon because they destroyed all of the information from 2 years of hearings, and they should be arrested, but they were given pardons. Was he given a pardon, Mayorkas? Was he not?
I don't believe so, sir.
Well, I'd take a look at that one, because what he did is it's beyond incompetence. Something had to be done. Now, with that being said, he took orders from other people, and he was really doing the orders, and you could say he was very loyal to them, because it must have been very hard for him to stand up and sit up and talk about what he allowed to happen to this country and be serious about it. So he was given orders. If he wasn't given a pardon, I could see looking at that. In fact, why don't you take a look at it, Christy? He was impeached, but yeah, it was just a fake impeachment. It was a fake impeachment. Why don't you take a look at it? I think he was so bad. They were all so bad. Look, it was the worst president in the history of our country. We've had some bad ones.
You talk about somebody hands-on. It seems like most of the time when you just have a conversation with this guy, the president of the United States, when it comes down to Trump, first it was the lady with the waitress that said no tax on tips. Now this person's talking about looking into Mayorkas. You got everybody trying to be part of the administration. We're going to keep on moving forward now, because we got the situation in Detroit. That's right. Come on to the front of the stage, Batty, if you're here. Also, Rebecca, you can come on too, because it's not too far from Grand Rapids. Come on. We got this police that's been arrested, 2 activists for interfering with ICE raids. I don't know what's going on with these people, but they're now starting to interfere with ICE raids. They're making apps. They're stalking basically the ICE agents, and they're fools for that. So basically, we got a situation where these activists have been interfering with these ICE raids. Check this out. I want you guys to check this out. I wouldn't be following them, having no apps on them, checking them, nothing like that, because it seems borderline like you're messing around with interfering.
Investigation intercepted, and a federal vehicle allegedly damaged by demonstrators protesting an ICE raid in Detroit.
Yes, the chaotic scene unfolding Monday near Livernois and Joy. Now police are launching an investigation. Fox News' Ingrid Kelly with the latest.
People all across the country have been responding to the kidnappings, because that's what they are, of individuals by ICE.
This scene taking place Monday near Joy in Livernois, where ICE officials say they were there to arrest an illegal alien from Honduras who had been removed from the U.S. twice. In fact, officials say the man fled ICE officers earlier that morning.
Their neighborhood being surrounded by officers with assault rifles.
As tensions ran high, activists from Detroit People's Assembly described what went down.
Federal agents got tired of waiting and kind of just busted down the door, dragged out one of the family members.
Once outside, activists say the person was put into an unmarked vehicle, which then tried to drive away.
Escape with the detainee through a large grass field.
That's when an independent demonstrator decided to move in.
Hopped in his truck to try to cut off the ICE agents' trucks. He cut off the truck, but there was no actual impact.
Detroit police were already at the scene because the federal agency requested they be there to keep the peace. Detroit police have now launched an investigation after this demonstrator allegedly interfered with the federal investigation.
As an organization, we don't endorse hopping in your cars to go try to cut off federal vehicles as they drive away. But at the same time, this is an expression of folks who are incredibly frustrated.
Detroit police took this demonstrator into custody, and another person was also arrested for malicious destruction of property of a separate federal vehicle.
Hey.
And that's not all. Detroit police then used pepper spray after protesters entered the street and approached a scout car.
We're not endorsing any, radical action as an organization, but at the same time, if people decide to take that on their own, we're not here to condemn them either.
So you basically condemning yourself by these words that you're basically saying right now. You think that you're being slick and we're not doing this and we're not doing that. You're on TV right now. You didn't let everybody know who you are. You're basically a royal thuntadon if you really think about it. I don't know what everybody else is thinking. Oh, fight against ICE and chase them with your cars. But I don't think that's the wisest thing to do, guys. Probably talk to your city council people, try to do it the legal way. But this here probably gonna wind you getting... Watch your head like they did, thinking that they're going to go independent jurisdiction of their own and get themselves in trouble.
ICE officials released a statement to Fox 2 which reads in part, "It is a crime to obstruct or otherwise interfere with an ICE arrest, and anyone involved may be subject to prosecution under federal law." And as this investigation by Detroit police continues, these activists say their work will continue also.
We as an organization, we as a community will continue to resist the fascist agenda of the Trump administration and their attempts to scapegoat immigrants.
In Detroit, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Man, if I was there, I'd be like, oh, shut up. Well, I bet you wasn't on the border trying to stop those convoys that are coming over. Some people, that's why we don't agree. A lot of us over here, we don't agree with that dun-dun-dun right there. People in the comments like, what? Sounds like road rage against federal agents, huh? I don't know how Obama was not made and it makes sense. No, it's not expression of anything. It is interference and it's a crime, says Bill Andy. Let ICE do their job and go to jail. Might like it. You might go to jail. Let them do that, Mark. Let them go to jail and be stupid. Must want to share the jail cell, sounds like it, Natalie. Rebecca says facts. Exactly. They sound so stupid. Peter Ducey, this is where they might be going if they keep on playing around. And now we're going to break down Alligator Alcatraz. Send one of them over there to come back and tell the rest of the activists how it is. I bet you they'll stop messing around with interfering with cases. I bet you send one of them activists to Alligator Alcatraz, and then you're gonna see how it is about that.
By the Supreme Court 4 days ago, that
Hold on a minute. I think I clipped over. Here we go. We're going right here with it.
Here we go. President Trump touring Alligator Alcatraz in the Everglades, and he's back in Florida's plan to have qualified National Guard members work as immigration judges.
Peter Ducey is live with the latest. Hey, Peter.
Good morning. Officials here think they have found their way.
So now they're going to find a way to expedite getting them up out of here. Alcatraz, right? Alligator Alcatraz. And now they're going to make some judges that's going to be there to expedite the see ya. Wouldn't want to be you. Come on, y'all. Let's go.
around a huge bottleneck, and that is the number of illegal immigrants waiting to see a deportation judge. If they're not just going to be caught and released, they need to have a deportation hearing. So what they're going to do down in Florida is they're going to take qualified National Guard judge advocates, and they are going to deputize them as immigration judges. That could allow many migrants to have hearings within 48 hours, limiting their time at Alligator Alcatraz.
Very soon, this facility will house some of the most menacing migrants, some of the most vicious people on the planet. We're surrounded by miles of treacherous swampland, and the only way out is really deportation. And a lot of these people are self-deporting back to their country where they came from.
Tom Homan, the border czar, now reports total Border Patrol encounters for the entire month of June 2025 was 6,070. That is less than a single day under Biden. As a matter of fact, the total number of encounters is less than half of a single day under Biden on many days. And that's contrary to what we were told by the Biden team many times.
Remember this? Remember this?
I will say this. The president has done more to secure the border and to deal with this issue of immigration than anybody else. He really has.
He really has.
And with all these new immigration judges, the plan is once a deportation order is given down at Alligator Alcatraz, that person can just be driven 2,000 feet to the airstrip where they can get onto a plane. Once it's full enough, they will take off on a deportation flight. The first arrivals will get there later today. Thanks.
They should have some singers from the Secret Garden standing there like, see ya. Hope you had a good time. Bye now. Hope you had a good morning to ya. Hope we never see you again. Kick rocks. I'm dead serious. Get up out of here. Come on now. We got Christy Gnome that's talking about this right now. Let's go on over to Christy, see what she got to say about Alligator Alcatraz, what's basically going to be going on soon. Let's go, Christy. Let's go.
Things legally and to have justice. And because those liberals and citizens that are living here in the United States illegally to come home and to be a part of their economy and help their countries grow. So this is a win-win for...
Hold on a minute. I got to give you guys this because she's talking about Venezuela and El Salvador wanting their immigrants back.
...to come back. That is the consequences of breaking the law in the United States of America. Listen, our job is to uphold the law. This is a country of laws. We have a border now. And because we have a president that cares and recognizes that we need to be a nation of borders and a nation that upholds the law. If you break the law, there's consequences. We will deport you and you will never get to be a United States citizen. You'll never even get to come back here and work and to pursue the American dream. But if you decide you want to go home now, go home. And we'll help facilitate it. We'll buy your plane ticket. We'll get you there. In fact, I just got back from Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras. Those countries are excited to get their citizens home. They're setting up programs to loan them money to buy houses when they get there, help them with food assistance, get their children educated, scholarships. They want their citizens that are living here in the United States illegally to come home and to be a part of their economy and help their countries grow. So this is a win-win for everyone. And I just want to end, Mr. President, by thanking our law enforcement officers, by thanking our ICE officers and our Border Patrol officers for what they do every day. They are out on the streets, and violence against them has increased over 500% since Trump has gone back into the White House because he's upholding the law and because a bunch of liberals, socialists, and Marxists are out there lying about what President Trump is doing.
You guys just saw a little clip of that previously with the independent fighters that's fighting back against Trump that you guys just saw that. Kind of showing you guys exactly what's going on here. Pretty crazy. Let's get off of that. We're going to go over to Vera Cosa. Anybody remember In Living Color? Jim Carrey? What role that he used to play? Vera De Mayo. Exactly. That's what I call this situation here, because we got these transformers, robots in disguise, and I want you guys to stop endorsing this crap, talking about this lady or this female. Y'all got to call them out for who they are. When I see someone trying to act like a woman, I'll be like, yo, what's up, my dude? What up, bro? What's poppin', my G? Yo, how you doing, B? You good? Yo, what's up, my nigga? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Yo, you see that game the other day? I don't care if they got a whole dress on looking like they going to a wedding. Call them what they are. Get mad at me, do what you got to do. It is what it is. I'm gonna call you what you got, what I got. Yo, what's up, my dude? Yo, how you doing, B? Yeah, real talk. Stop playing with me. Check this out now. Now, UPenn, it's not doing exactly how I do and getting that drastic with it, but they will remove trans athletes from women's sports. They're revoking Leah Thomas's all her titles and reinstating the women who lost her all of the winners. But they're feeling like it's too little too late. We're going to keep on moving forward, you guys. I want you guys to see what's going on over in this situation with Leah. See how we got that going on with Vera there? Hi, I'm Vera Cosa. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That was one of my favorite episodes, one of my favorite characters that the great Jim Carrey would always play on In Living Color. But nowadays, we're living it right in front of us. Vera Cosa in our faces. Let's go.
A big victory for women's sports as UPenn agrees to follow President Trump's mandate and ban transgender women from female sports teams. The Ivy League school will also revoke trans swimmer Leah Thomas of her titles, and all female athletes displaced by Thomas will be reinstated and get a written apology from the school. Thomas's former teammates, we have Margot Kaczorowski. We also have Ellen Holmquist. They both filed a lawsuit against the university earlier this year, and they're also joined by their attorney, Bill Bott. Good morning to all of you.
I want you guys to pay attention to these two's faces. We playing boxes right now. Notice how their faces are just blank. No smiles or nothing. They basically graduated already. They didn't get the numbers that they were supposed to get. They not too happy. They looking at this as being too little too late, but we gonna accept it. And we still got a case against UPenn.
You.
Morning.
Morning,
Good
Ainsley.
morning. Good morning. All right, Margot, I'll start with you because you were in two of the same events as Leah Thomas. You were denied your win because Leah was competing, your recognition. So how does this new news affect you?
Yeah, so I try to think about it more on like a broader scale because I'm really not doing this for myself or anything. What I went through was hard enough, but really I'm doing this for the future generation of girls to go through the program, to go through D1 athletics, and I really want just what's best for them. So I would like for women's rights to be upheld to the utmost standard and for those titles and records to come down.
Is this enough for you, what they did?
It's a good starting point, and I'm really grateful for the Trump administration and what they are doing to protect women, but there's so much more to go. They wouldn't be doing this without the federal government forcing them. So I think we have a long way to go to make sure that women's rights are upheld and policies are in place to ensure the verification process that it's only females in women's sports.
Okay, now Ellen, you were left off the 2022 Ivy Championship team roster because Leah Thomas participated. You missed that by one spot. So this latest news doesn't mean that you're competing again. It doesn't mean that that can change that. How do you feel?
Basically, it's too late, right?
I think this is a good step in the right direction. Like Margot said, I'm really doing this for future Penn swimmers, future young girls that want to compete in college sports and make sure that this situation that happened to me never happens to someone else in the future. But there are still a lot of steps that need to be taken by Penn and other universities that have been going down this path. So I'm excited to see the change and appreciate the administration and the help of icons with this.
Okay, Bill, you were the lead attorney in the investigation of Lance Armstrong. You have a lot of experience with sports laws and Title IX cases. What do you think about this?
Well, the interesting thing, Ainsley, is that at the same time they're telling President Trump at the University of Pennsylvania that there are 4 women in women's sports and they're going to protect them. They're fighting Margot and Ellen and their teammate Grace in court, and they have an acknowledged responsibility in court. So we're seeing very inconsistent positions from the University of Pennsylvania, and which is why we're continuing to pursue the lawsuit against the school.
Yeah, we're all wondering if
The only reason they're doing this is because they've been told that they're going to lose over $100 million in grants. If you guys don't know about that part.
other schools will follow suit. Why do you think, what did it? I know that President Trump and the Department of Education, they were the ones going after UPenn. What changed UPenn's mind?
Well, more than $100 million was on the line. And I think they simply made a decision to say what the president wanted them to say and make a commitment. it's not a binding commitment. That's why we're continuing the lawsuit, to get a judge to tell them what Title IX means and tell them to stop changing your position and have one position of protecting, defending women and their opportunities like the law requires.
Okay, we got to keep on moving because you know this deck is stacked. I got a lot in the clip. Yes, we got a lot going on. I love the way you guys are following up with all the content. But yes, we got to go on over to Florida, South Florida that is, because we got a man that's facing possible deportation days after saving a little girl in a shark attack. Like I say sometimes, some people we should make an exception for. This gentleman here, hero, but I don't know, you guys. It just seems like the laws are just really sticking and they're not playing right now. Yes, this man and a group of other men saved a little girl from a shark attack and now got the possibilities of being deported. Pretty sad. Come on, you guys. Let's go on over to, where we at? Miami with this? Of course we are. South Florida. Let's go.
Told you about this story last month when a young girl was attacked by a shark in Boca Grande.
That young girl lived to tell the tale, but now we're learning that a man involved in a rescue is now in an immigration hold.
For NBC6, Madison Selesky reports.
From one side, he was a hero, and now he's a bad guy. You know, it kind of put me in shock.
A man who put himself in danger to help a little girl during a shark attack in Boca Grande is now facing deportation. Luis Alvarez was one of 3 men who rushed into the bloody waters to help 9-year-old Leah Lendell.
He jumped on the water to take the shark out of his hands.
Yeah.
So he blinked, take him out of the water.
Raynel Lugo, who also helped in the rescue, told us Alvarez was the first one to jump into the water to scare off the shark.
I talked to him after that. Even we laughed about the fact that we didn't think about what's going to happen to us. We act. So he's just that kind of person.
Body cam footage shows the 3 men, including Alvarez, standing next to the water as EMS treated Leah.
You guys put the towel on and stuff?
Yes, we put the towel on.
Okay, very good. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
But just 3 days after the rescue, deputies pulled him over in Immokalee for driving without headlights. According to the arrest report, when asked for his license, Lewis showed a photo of his employment authorization card on his phone, commonly known as a work visa. When they discovered he didn't have a driver's license, he was arrested and taken to jail. I spoke with an immigration attorney about how this case escalated to ICE.
If someone with a work permit that is legally authorized to work here in the United States is stopped by police for driving without a license, I don't know why this person is being detained by ICE if he had a work permit, unless he has a criminal background.
Alvarez told the arresting officer in Spanish that he had been in the country for 2.5 years and has never had a driver's license.
What has the wife told you the next steps are?
I think Luis deserved a second opportunity.
So yes, you did something good, but then you started performing illegal actions on the road, which got you sent up like a red flag. The police officer that was doing his job, let's call it for what it is. Police officer that was doing his job saw you breaking the rules of the road, approached you. You had no license. They took it further, and then they did what they could because you put yourself in that situation. 2.5 years here. My question is, why didn't you start the immigration process? Why didn't you start to try to do it the legal way? Those are always my questions. Feel sad for the guy. Really do. F. Ice says the long sturge. What else we got here? Shawn says F. Anti-America. It's not about immigrations being bad, people, but you have to immigrate legally, says Ashley. I was arrested in my own states because I didn't have my license, says me too. He got himself into trouble. Me too. If I didn't have a license, and if I was driving and operating a vehicle and they pull me over, 9 times out of 10, even with the legal status of being born here, I'll get arrested for something like that. How far they decide to take it determines on what they want to do. Don't put yourself in situations like that because it gets pretty crazy. We got this situation right now in Miami. We're still staying in Miami, you guys. For some reason, these 2 gentlemen thought that it would be smart to have a fist fight on a, what is that, Frontier Airlines flight. The flight wound up going back to Miami, and the man wound up going behind bars. See, I always say this. I've always acted a certain way when I'm on a flight because of the fact that you just do that. You don't do certain things when you're on flights. You don't act out. You don't do stuff to get yourself in trouble. But you know what? A lot of people, they don't listen. They do whatever they want to do. They get caught up in attitudes, and stuff like this happens. Check this out, you guys.
Down to a flight fight caught on camera. Fists flying midair on a Miami-bound flight.
One of those passengers facing a judge today, but his lawyer says he was just trying to mediate. Local 10 crime specialist Bridget Matter is live in West Miami-Dade with the cabin chaos. Bridget.
Well, passenger cameras were rolling when all of this took place in the air on a flight from Philadelphia to here in Miami. And according to the man who was arrested, his lawyer says he was trying to meditate when fists went flying.
Chaos in the air on a Frontier flight from Philadelphia to Miami. A scuffle between two men on board Monday night. Passengers recorded on their cell phones as fists were flying, the two men tussling over seats. One of those men is
Now, let's be fair here. I only see one man's fist flying, and I see somebody getting bobbled, and it looks like he did get the worst of it right there. That's pretty bad. I think both of them should have got the silver bracelets, not just one from what I'm seeing. The other guys clearly got the upper hand. Let's be honest about it.
21-year-old Shawn Sharma. His mugshot shows the injuries to his face. Sharma is then seen back in his seat before he was escorted off the plane and arrested. His lawyer says the report doesn't tell the whole story and that Sharma was meditating on the flight.
Unfortunately, the passenger behind him did not like that. Made it very clear he didn't like the demon stuff.
The report says, quote, the incident was unprovoked when the defendant approached him and grabbed his neck while returning to his assigned seat. But his lawyer says it's the other way around.
You can see who's beat up. And you can see even there they said the victim only suffered superficial cuts, but the person who was beat up had to go to Jackson and look at him.
Sharma is facing a battery charge.
That's crazy.
That 21-year-old is from New Jersey. He was given a $500 bond, which he's already posted, but he hasn't walked out of jail just yet.
That is crazy. That is crazy. It looks that's like, oh man, I honestly feel like the wrong person got jammed up in that one. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think that was totally wrong. They should have arrested that other man because the guy with the dreads was basically totally being the more aggressor. Other guy had his head down as he was just taking the pummeling. I don't know. What y'all see over here? HOL, Castro, LOL. I can't believe you have an actual, okay, William, let's get William up out of here. William, why don't you go get a life? If you worried about me, what else you got going on with your life? I'm gonna help you get up out of here. I'm gonna stop the whole show just to get you the hell up out of here. Now we gonna keep on moving forward because we gotta, boom, let's get him up out of here. Let's go on over to Texas as we got this crazy truck crash that basically killed 4 family members. Check this craziness out right here, you guys. This is a pretty crazy, intense situation that we got going on over here. I feel sorry for these families, and I wanna just say this real quick. We need to get more people out here making sure that these roads are being they said the one that happened yesterday, there was a checkpoint that was supposed to be used. The checkpoint was not open, and right after, maybe a few miles down the road, there was a major crash. We need to really make sure that we're paying attention to the drivers, especially with these big rigs, you guys. There's too much weight, too much force of them driving through that can hurt too many people. When people fall asleep, it's very important to get things where they need to be on time. But another thing is more important for people not to get hurt or their lives lost due to situations like this, trying to be getting places in a rush, trying to make deadlines and things like that. It's crazy.
John Nohanic with Witherite Law Group says a father, mother, son, and grandfather were killed inside this mangled truck from the deadly crash over the weekend. He says a granddaughter is in the hospital. John says he represents the father of the wife and mother killed.
Obviously, in talking to one of the family members earlier, it's a terrible tragedy how many people were lost in this entire family, with one struggling to stay alive.
The Department of Public Safety says on Saturday afternoon in Terrell on I-20 in Kaufman County, the driver of an 18-wheeler, 27-year-old Alexis Gonzalez Campioni, fell asleep behind the wheel, causing the deadly chain reaction crash. He's been arrested and charged with 5 counts of manslaughter and 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. John says they've put in a formal request to get data from inside the 18-wheeler. DPS says the truck is operated by Hope Trans LLC.
Each one of these trucks has a box similar to a airplane. And we get a hold of that box and download that box and find out everything that was going on with the truck.
The attorney says the black box or devices in the tractor trailer, such as electronic control modules, can show how fast the truck was going, if it was in cruise control, how long the truck was on the road, maintenance history, and many other details.
Well, the family grieves. We work to make sure that we get this information as soon as possible. It's very important information to get an idea of what was happening inside that vehicle.
I'd like for people to get a clear understanding of this next clip that I'm about to show. Also, before we even get into that, I would like to pray for the family and the loved ones of the people who lost their lives in this tragic event. Let's try to bring the girl that's in the hospital through 100%, whatever we call it, guys. Let it be a miracle. We ask this in Jesus' name, and amen. Also, you guys, don't worry about trolls. I'm taking care of them. I'm actually having fun right now. I'm in there like fishing. Boom, 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 just getting them out of there. Let them make their noise and let them be seen so that they can stick their head out of the hole so I can take care of them. So don't worry about that, you guys. Don't worry about it. Now we got to go over here because I got a question for you guys. Can you lose your citizenship, like immigration? I want to know if you guys think that somebody can just take your your American citizenship from you and deport you. Because that's another thing that's been brought up a lot. People keep on saying stuff like, if it can happen to them, you know it can happen to you. So I'm really trying to figure this out. I was born here. Are you trying to be a fearmonger? Are you trying to scare me or whatever like that? Because how the hell are you going to kick me out? Where are you going to send me? I was born right here. So unless they're talking about people that came from other countries, that actually got their paperwork legally, that's another story. That's when I was like, wait a minute, is that what they're talking about? Okay, now let's find out and let's see what they're trying to do when it comes down to losing your citizenship. Check this out.
Is offering a new chapter in immigration enforcement, this time targeting people who've already become U.S. citizens. The Justice Department is now looking at revoking citizenship from naturalized Americans with criminal convictions. To break down what this shift means and who could be most at risk, we're joined now by immigration attorney Miriam Masumi Dowd. Thank you so much, Ms. Dowd, for joining us. I want to talk a little bit about this mandate that is coming from a letter that was written by Assistant Attorney General Brett Shumate. It lists a number of kind of priorities that they want agents and the federal government to sort through. Can you kind of name what some of these priorities look like?
Yes, the Department of Justice received a memo from the administration delineating 10 different priorities of individuals who could be reviewed for purposes of naturalization. This could be individuals who fail to disclose certain information on their applications for naturalization when they were going through the process, such as prior criminal arrests or convictions, as well as individuals who may have been engaged in national security issues or have been involved in terrorist organizations or funding terrorist organizations.
So basically, in a nutshell, what they're doing is now they're going back, looking at all of those applications and double checking and seeing, hey, is this person married now? Is this or is that? That's basically the guideline. And those situations could make you possibly lose your citizenship. Now it's making more sense.
So it's a really long list, but what's most concerning is at the bottom of that memo, it does say that these priorities are not in any particular order, meaning that somebody who's kind of listed at the top as a national security risk versus somebody who's listed at the bottom who may have made an omission on purpose or not on purpose, they're treated the same. And in addition, it does give prosecutors broader authority to prosecute or bring forward naturalization claims by any case permitted by law. So that language is very broad, it's very vague, and it really opens up the door to seeking denaturalization of millions of Americans.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that number 10 out of 10 really stuck out to me, and I'll read it with you. Any other cases referred to the civil division that the division determines to be sufficiently important to pursue, basically saying if it's not covered in this other list, any other reason to try to pursue denaturalizing a citizen can be pursued. Can you talk about what that could look like in court? Can that legitimately hold up?
It certainly could. For example, if somebody were filing for a green card to come to the United States and their parent was bringing them over here, that process can take a very long time. It can take years. And if during the wait time for that person to come here on a green card, let's say they get married, and initially when they filed the case, they may have been single. If they failed to advise the embassy when they're seeking their green card that they were married, maybe they forgot about it, maybe they're just so much time had passed, they didn't update that information, and then they come to the United States on that green card, ultimately become a U.S. citizen, that failure to disclose that marriage actually is grounds for denaturalization. So the government go back and review that file. So people who make erroneous misrepresentations, again, whether willful or not willful, are vulnerable to potential denaturalization should the government go back and revisit their entire history.
All right, you guys. So now you got a little idea of the possibilities of who can actually lose their citizenships. They're not talking about people that's born here. So stop with that sort of fear-mongering people trying to say, oh, you next. How am I next when I was born in Flowers, Fifth Avenue, fool? Come on with the crap. That's when you people like me don't believe anything else you got to say. Tell the truth. Be honest about it. The same way we do. Show the facts. Stop playing around. Come on, tell the truth, you guys. We got to get on over to Milwaukee right now because we got this police officer that powed this man and he's charged in the murder in court today. I want you guys to see this crazy situation here. Milwaukee, anybody in Milwaukee in the comments over here today? Who we got in Milwaukee over here today from Milwaukee? Let me see who we got.
Details into our newsroom about what led up to the shooting that killed one Milwaukee police officer and sent another to the hospital.
The accused shooter is 22-year-old Tremaine Jones. He is now charged with first-degree intentional homicide, attempted homicide, and recklessly endangering safety. But he is not the only person charged in connection to this case and everything leading up to it. We're going to dig into that in just a minute. Fox 6 reporters are all over this story. We're speaking with loved ones of the officer who died, Kendall Corder. We're also taking a closer look at Milwaukee police staffing.
Well, first, let's get to Bill Miston. Bill, there's been a lot of activity recently there in the courthouse, and we're learning information. Like, we know this started with a fight. That's what prosecutors say.
Yeah, a series of fights, and now we're also learning about the others involved, including a woman now charged with harboring the accused shooter.
And fired it into an apartment building. There were children in that apartment building. He then goes and waits in bushes, and when two officers go and are just doing their jobs, he opens fire on them.
The weapon in question, a semi-automatic AR-15 style rifle. Court documents say 22-year-old Tremaine Jones bought it from this West Allis gun shop just days earlier.
He allegedly was called, came back with a weapon, allegedly fired that weapon in a home.
Filings say there were fights between groups of women over Jones and allegations of cheating. Prosecutors say while at this apartment building Thursday night, Jones fired the gun. Officers McRae and Corder arrived a short time later and began searching the neighborhood. McRae said he and Corder went to an alley at 24th Place in Garfield when they were both shot. McRae was shot in the foot, thigh, and back. Corder was shot in the arm and shoulder. A bullet severed his spine. Corder was taken off life support Sunday. At the shooting scene, police found 16 rifle casing and the semi-automatic rifle with Jones's prints on it. There was also a backpack with Jones's personal documents.
I would also note that he does not have much of a criminal record.
This past April, a misdemeanor case against Jones was dismissed as part of a deferred prosecution agreement. He was accused in 2021 with riding around in a stolen Kia and running from the cops. In a letter to the victim in that case, Jones said his brother died from gun violence and he learned to, quote, never make the same mistake twice.
Ran into an alley, hid in some bushes, and after that, the only thing that would be an apt description is that you allegedly committed cold-blooded murder.
Jones was arrested at a home near 37th and Villard hours after the shooting. That's where 19-year-old Jermella Kittler lives. She's charged with harboring a felon.
There's not too many times where we have the charge harboring or aiding a felon, and the facts support harboring and aiding a felon.
Prosecutors say Jones sent her back to the shooting scene to try and retrieve the rifle and lied to the cops about hiding Jones in her home.
And then when the police came looking for him, you were not honest with them.
22-year-old Brashawn Tyler is also charged in connection to the case with felony firearm possession for shooting a gun from the apartment at Jones.
Now, I don't understand that part. They should have let him get off with that.
A court commissioner set Jones's bond at $500,000. He's due back in court next week for a preliminary hearing. Reporting live in the criminal.
They don't need to let him out at all. Somebody lost their lives. Plus, he's been doing this for the whole time. He seems like he's some sort of a menace. They just need to let him stay right where he at. Needs to get a whole bunch of time for that. And in Texas, let me ask you a question. Don't they got the death penalty in Texas? Oh yeah. Bzzz. Bzzz. Or get you something in your vein or whatever like that to end it all. Be playing around in some of these states because they got that D penalty in some of these states, especially against a police officer. We're going to see what happened to him. I'm going to keep you guys on deck. Do me a favor. Y'all appreciate the content and the fact that we get up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock to keep on making sure this content is up to date. We hit that button at 6 and we do this every single day. Go ahead and show your boys some love and double tap that screen to get those likes up to let everybody else know what we got going on over here. Now we got another car injury, another car situation. This with a car hauler involved in an injury crash that snarls the SB 405 through Brentwood. Check this out. This looks like a terrible situation that happened here, and this is a whole nother car hauler situation that happened on the road in LA, guys. Check this out.
Good morning, everybody. We have a terrible situation that continues for the drive on the 405 freeway, and you see how dramatic this video is. This is from earlier this morning when the crash actually took place at about 2:15 along the 405 freeway, the southbound side at Sunset Boulevard. And so the signal actually was issued a little bit later, just in the 4 o'clock hour, and you can see why. We know that there were some injuries. We also know that this one will take a little while to clean up. So right now, the estimated time of releasing some of these lanes, not until about 7:20 this morning. So yeah, a couple more hours. But the lanes that are blocked, we have the two right lanes, the Getty Center on-ramp to that 405 freeway heading south. And it really started off as just a couple of cars, then a car carrier. We had one vehicle, you can see it here, facing the wrong way. And again, really dramatic video of that crash that took.
And if you can look at that truck, you see the back end of the cab of that whole truck bent into almost where the driver was at. So hopefully this person got up out of there without harming herself, because that whole entire back of that truck is in the front now. Craziness that goes on. Hopefully these people are not, hopefully no one lost their lives.
Place. So you really have to give that wide berth to car carriers, as well as, of course, taking it on the slow side. You're coming down that hill, and you really want to watch your speed. 405 southbound side at Sunset Boulevard. Again, the two right lanes closed until about 7:20, as well as the Getty Center on-ramp.
That was crazy right there. Again, guys, be careful. Normally, if I'm driving, because I drive a car sometimes, I drive a motorcycle a lot. I stay away from 18-wheelers, big rigs, and all of that. Y'all can go ahead and get the road. I'll slow down and be all the way back here. This way I can see what's going on in front of me as well. Got to be very cautious when you drive a motorcycle. What you guys got over here, Liberty? They don't even want us driving our own cars. Morning, Liberty. I pray before I drive. Does anyone else ask for travel mercy? Yes, I do. And you're a very smart person for that. I also pray before I take a flight. And I also have a couple of other things that I did, like when I started off, like, what do they call those things, like superstitions or whatever? I do it every single flight. So you know what? Keep on doing it if it works for you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it gets you to point A to point B comfortably and you can operate and do what you got to do legally and safe, keep on praying. It never hurts. It never hurts. Prayer is no joke, and you feel like you're covered. That's right, you guys. Keep on moving forward, because we got this father that's been arrested by ICE agents outside of his home. The son is crying, and the sad part about it is they asked this little child to translate to the father to let him know that he's going to be deported. Gotta tell you guys, this father's been here for a very long time. I keep on coming up with the questions like, why don't these people try to get their naturalization legally? If you've been here over 20 years, just a question. And things like this would not possibly happen to you. They say that people they forget about it, they don't think about it, life be lifing. But now when you get situations like this, because of what's going on, there's nothing that you can do about it because you haven't taken the proper channels to get here legally.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Caught on video and Evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Caught on video, an undocumented father arrested in Bartlett by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents. The family now claims their civil rights were violated. An immigration attorney tells WREG's Brian Ditlake why this situation raises questions.
Father have any medications or anything like that?
Patted down and taken away, Edgar Perez says all he could do was watch as his father, Gerardo Granados, was arrested this morning by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents.
Thank you,
It just has me so distraught because not only did I see my father get taken away, I saw that they asked my 17-year-old brother to translate and tell his own father that he's going to get deported.
Perez says his father has been in the U.S. for 23 years after leaving Mexico.
You do have people who are going to say, you know, your father was undocumented, so the next process would be deportation. What do you say to that?
I said, I understand that, but the whole point of these deportations happening is because of the rise of crime. Somebody who's never committed a crime is now being treated at the same level as a criminal.
The family says this arrest leaves them with questions, claiming a warrant wasn't produced.
It's either they saw him and they identified him as some immigrant because of the color of his skin, or they're using this form, G25, for something malicious and not informing the people.
That could very well may be. G325R, R standing for registration, that is this idea that most non-citizens need to register their information.
Andrew Rankin, an immigration attorney, says it is possible ICE agents used a registration form to make the arrest. However, looking at the video as is, Rankin says he has questions.
I didn't see a warrant. If they had one, they should be able to produce it. If they're acting without a warrant, then they have to comply with federal law that is very narrow.
Rankin says according to federal law, to operate without a warrant, two things must happen. ICE agents must have a reason to believe a person is undocumented and prove that same person would likely run before a warrant could be obtained.
This was a calm situation, a calm scene. What was stopping them from bringing out paperwork if they had it?
Rankin says, unfortunately, even if the family could get Granados released on bail, the reality of their situation has just started.
But he still has to find a way to stay here, and if he's tried already and didn't have any success, the family might have to be taking the long view on this stuff.
That's the beginning of the whole situation. Why you ain't just say that in the beginning? He already probably been tried, already probably been told to be deported, didn't answer, and now he's gonna go. Why y'all do stuff like this? Jumbler, and then say the stuff at the end. I don't get it. I just don't get it sometimes.
In Memphis, Brian Ditlake, WREG, News Channel 3.
Sometimes these people already have been to court. They've already been ordered to be deported, and they don't do it. And next thing you know, they wind up here for another 10, 20 years. They get comfortable, and then they get mad when they get the watch your head because you was told to do what you got to do. And then you're taking a ride of shame like this guy right there that just left, and then everybody around you trying to make up excuses, how it happened, the nature of what's going on. You put yourself in a bad situation, you got to deal with it. Sadly, I've dealt with bad situations myself, so you know what I learned to do? Stop putting myself in bad situations. What else y'all got for me over here? Calm because he was caught. Goodbye, Taco, says Jim. King says yes. Moving forward, looks like he could be related to Epstein. Okay, whatever. Yeah, you really trying to get that Epstein in there. You really working on it. You've been saying that the whole time. Okay, what else y'all got? Anybody saying Epstein, I'm not even going to read your stuff anymore. How about that? Epstein is now a red flag. If you got Epstein in your comment, not even saying it. Rebecca says, facts, Bugatti. Chris says, love pops true. Know what I'm saying? Sky, there is no excess, sadly. Some are comfortable being held, being here for 20 plus years. That's right. Okay, 20 years and you never ever tried to learn English? Send them back. And then they have this little small community going on to what you just said. Small community of people that also don't speak English, have their own little network. They actually look at you like they're better than you. Whatever. Oh, you know how it is. Once they get over here, it's a whole different story. Then they get comfortable because it's comfortable, much better or whatever. And then they decide, you know what? I'm going to get to it. And when you keep on procrastinating, things like that can wind you up with them silver bracelets. It's Christmas time in the city. Now we got to go over the ding, Let's get this going, you guys. P. Diddy trial. Day 20, read it, ready for closing arguments. Diddy has been found guilty of 2 charges, which can land him in jail for 20 years. Maybe this early celebration, I'm trying to say, I think the celebration that these lawyers are having, it's going to be short-lived. He still can get 20 years. Yeah, you beat the major charges, but you can't get the 20 with the life. But this one, those other 2, the transportation, you still can get up to 10 years, Diddy, for both of those charges, 10 apiece, and they got 2 of them sitting there. Also, with the way that the judge was acting, the judge was like, I see you want to go home. I see you want to do this. Guess what? Didn't get to go home, got them silver bracelets, went right back. They're going to keep him in until he gets sentenced.
Hi, I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. A jury of 12 people will soon decide the fate of Shawn Combs. Closing arguments are set to begin tomorrow. This will be the last chance for attorneys from both sides to speak directly. Walk us through the different paths that they've given the jury here.
So there are 10 so-called predicate acts. The jury would have to unanimously agree that Combs and others conspired to commit 2 of them in order to find Combs guilty of racketeering conspiracy. That could be kidnapping involving his former assistant Capricorn Clark. It could be arson involving Kid Cudi and his Porsche. It could be forced labor involving his former assistant who testified under the pseudonym Mia. It could be obstruction and the attempt to buy off Mia as alleged when one of Combs's bodyguards offered to send her a little something, ostensibly to keep her mouth shut about what she had witnessed Combs do, the violence that she said she had witnessed against Combs's ex-girlfriend. So the prosecutors still have plenty of options. They've taken out a couple of those: attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, attempted obstruction, just to make the instructions a little simpler for the jury.
Now, I know the jury wasn't in court today. What happened in the courtroom?
I'll tell you what happened in the courtroom. Again, bottom line, he got 2 charged, 2 guilties, 2 not. It's been going on too long for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't wait till they go ahead and figure what they're going to do out, because now it's like, okay, we got partial over here, then we got partial over there. You know what? What's going down? I know one thing. The judge looked at him and said, you want to go home, right? He said yes. The judge waited until the prosecution came back. They looked at all of the evidence and they said, you know what? You're going to have to stay in MDC until you get sentenced. Thank you so much, Daniel Castro, for the $2 super chat. That big, beautiful bill passed. There you go. Y'all know about the big, beautiful bill. It already passed. This P. Diddy case is ongoing. It's constantly going. Still hasn't really come to finalization. I do know one thing, like I keep on telling you guys. 10 years he could be getting for both of those charges. 10 apiece. He's looking at 20 years. Everybody, the legalese, and all of the smart people are saying he's probably going to get the max because of the other charges that he skated away from. And then some people are saying there is actually no minimum on this. So he could even get a minimum and probably get time served. When the judge asked him yesterday, do you want to go home? You feel like you want to get out of here? Of course, he said, yes, I don't want to go back to MDC. I want to go home and take a shower. Also, I'm willing to put up $1 million bail. Also got my family here that's willing to sign off for me. They went back into the back, came back, ain't doing it. You got to go back. That's what's going on, you guys. We're going to keep on moving forward because now we got another federal judge that's blocking Donald Trump again. Early termination of TPS protection for Haitians. They've overturned it. And of course, you know, the administration is appealing this decision right now. We've got another judge. And I don't understand how this is still going on when they said that these judges can't do this anymore. You guys correct me if I haven't been mistaken, but it said that the other federal judges can't stop executive orders. So correct me, isn't this an executive order? And right now, am I not about to show you guys a federal judge that's about to stop this executive order? Help me out to understand this, guys. I'm listening in the comments.
And breaking news tonight at 10, a federal judge in New York has ruled to block a Trump administration plan to end temporary protected status for Haitian nationals. The administration wanted to end the TPS in September. The judge's ruling would extend it to its original deadline of February 2026. That would give 500,000 Haitians in the United States a temporary reprieve. The administration will likely appeal this judge's decision.
Yeah, because again, it seems like...
And breaking news tonight at 10, a federal judge in New York has ruled to block a Trump...
Like what we said, isn't this another judge? And it's pretty weird because this is Miami. And you got a judge in New York that's doing this. I guess there's Haitians in New York as well. How can all of these judges do this? I'm confused. You guys help me out. What you got over here? Bill didn't pass. You lying. Okay. What else we got? Great channel. What else we got? Natalie says, couldn't agree more, Young Wolf. Young Wolf says the Idaho trials are even crazier, LMO. Okay, what else you got? You got Natalie Howe, SMH. We got Glenn Henderson that says, but they're eating the dogs. Good one. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. I know you got that one from. That was a good one. Good alley-oop. I appreciate that one right there. Good one. But guess what, you guys? We got to go over to these dozens of people that have been charged in the trafficking operation. Woo! Let me tell you something. I don't understand how people these days are still trying to do this crap. I mean, back in the day when they was like, yo, that's the way to get rich. You know what I'm saying? You got to mess with the white stuff. Man, listen, too much technology, too much crap going on. And I'm too old to be trying to get jammed up messing around with some D-rugs. So if y'all want to do it, people are free to do whatever they want to do. I do not condone the nonsense, especially at the ripe old age that I'm at right now. I'm trying to stay out of trouble. I ain't with it and I'm good. But check this out, you guys. Philadelphia, we got the dozens of people that have been charged with trafficking and they got locked up and they ain't letting them out.
New here at 4 o'clock, the Montgomery County District Attorney and Norristown Police announced criminal charges against 35 people connected to a large-scale drug trafficking group. These 5 men are the accused leaders of 3 separate groups allegedly supplying Montgomery County and surrounding areas with cocaine and crack cocaine. The investigation, named Operation Cocaine Goldmine, began in late 2024. Throughout the investigation, law enforcement seized large amounts of narcotics, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and 17 firearms. New here at 4.
Ain't nobody tell you them days is over, brothers. I mean, come on. I know dudes that's doing online and stuff like this, making more. I tell the guys all the time, you out here throwing bricks at the precinct, doing all this illegal stuff. You got dudes on the internet talking on YouTube, making much more money than you, working an hour or two. You want to do this, or you just don't got enough fat on your brain to figure out how to do something that makes sense. People don't have to do the things that they're doing. They want to do it, or they're lazy and they just do it because it's easy and convenient for them. So hey, with that laziness, watch your head. Now you're gonna have to deal with massive time. Homeboy and them got gray in their beard. You already got gray in your beard and you playing around? That's not the time to roll the dice, my friend. You did that 19, 20 years old or whatever like that. Once you get old, you start worrying about, am I gonna die in here? That's what somebody that makes sense say. Okay, Sky, you gotta be kidding. No Face says, at Young Wolf, you didn't have to retort, did I stifle your BS? Ebony says, they too old to still be in the game. Thank you, Sky. Exactly. Facts. Exactly. What are they doing? But hey, let them do what they do, because that's what they want to do. Ignorance is bliss. And ignorance is this. I say that a lot. That's another one of my sayings. When I see something ignorant going on, I say ignorance is bliss and ignorance is this. You guys do me a favor. If y'all appreciate the content that we're showing you exclusively here on Our Bottom Line with the #1 co-host on YouTube, go ahead and double tap that screen and get those likes up. Also, we're trying to get up to 100,000 subscribers. We do this every single day. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become a member, turn on post notifications and let everybody know. That lets everybody know when we're here. And again, we don't try to ask for too many tips because we know it's hard out here for a pimp. We don't ask for too many tips, but we appreciate super chats. What we really like is for you guys to get those likes up because it gets so much more people involved in knowing what's going on with our show. And now we're going to keep on moving forward because now we got a situation where we got to go to California where that fireworks warehouse, blue, 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 blue. Somebody said something really smart. This guy was talking about how to handle fireworks. I used to do it when I was a kid, play around with fireworks and things like that. I actually had a firecracker blow up in my hand one time. It was pretty small, hurt a bit, but it just let me know what it could have been. The stinging, the ringing of the ear, very serious situations. Tomorrow is 4th of July, guys. I want you guys to be careful and be very serious about dealing with the kids around those fireworks. Mad Hatter, thank you so much for the $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Bugatti, for doing your stream 365 days. It educates, entertains, and puts it in check. Thank you so much, Mad Hatter, and everybody. Mad Hatter is a very important co-host over here. Let's go ahead and show him some love for that $19.99 super chat that we so appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to keep on moving forward, you guys. I want you guys to be very careful. I do not want anything to happen to my people. None of my co-hosts, all that craziness, we're not doing that. We're not getting involved with no fireworks, no stupid stuff. You're going to get some fireworks, you go to a field or something like that, light it, throw it on the floor. Have it inside of something, light it, and run. If it don't go off, get away from it. Get a bucket of water and throw it on top of it. Don't even mess with that one no more. Come on, y'all. This happened in California, and I'm sure this warehouse is somewhere far out because they've already determined the possibilities of something like this happening. But yes, it only takes a little bit of ignition for something crazy to happen. The whole warehouse went up. I don't know if you guys know about this. How many people are in California that probably heard about it or saw it? Well, yeah, this is Country Road in Esperado, California. And I'm talking about some big implosions because there was a lot of explosions inside of the warehouse. So it just kept going on and on and on. And again, I'm sure that it was in a facility that was far away from other stuff. I don't hear anything about anybody being arrested or it being an illegal storage spot. So we're gonna find out. But again, you guys, tomorrow is 4th of July. Let's keep all our digits. Let's stay alive and take care of them babies. Make sure that they're good out there. Don't let them play around with no fireworks. Y'all do it. The older people do it. Don't go. Take a second look. Yolo County, that's Northern California in Yolo County, says Jay Hodges. Okay, Doe says, okay, moving forward in another chat room, you were bragging about, are you crazy? No, I was not. You out of your mind. Doug, you about to be out of here playing around like that. John, that would have been a hell of a fireworks display to watch. You're right about that. Mad Hatter, you end up like a troll. Okay, we're going to keep on going. John, wait a minute. Professional display, a lot different, highly sensitive to shock and strategic charges. That was a different John, not my John with the glove. My people with the gloves is on point. It was like this. It was another guy that's in here trying to play around. We see you, but we ain't paying no attention to you because now we got to go on ahead and what are we doing now? Okay, we got to keep on going. I know y'all like, wait a minute, he got more. Yes, I got more. I do this. This is what we do around here. Come on, y'all. Because now we got this rapper named Chocolat. He's allegedly got arrested for kidnapping a fan. Now, he said, something's going on with my brain. I don't know what's happening to me. Well, Chocolat from Cuba, guess what he got? Locked up and they ain't letting him out. His name is Chocolat. That's what they call it, Chocolate. He's from Cuba. I don't know if you guys know about him. There you go right there. Allegedly got arrested and locked up for kidnapping one of his own fans. Check this out, y'all. This is the fan outside. He's approaching them and everything. Want to make sure you guys see everything. That's Chocolat right there approaching the vehicle. Let's go.
Only on 6 video obtained by NBC6 caught the moment Cuban
and he has a istu in his hand.
Reggaeton singer Chocolate MC robbed one of his fans' car and then kidnapped him.
Yeah, records show that the fan was only wanting to take a picture with the singer, but that celebrity encounter turned violent.
NBC6 reporter Christian Colon reports.
A trip to Chavez Supermarket in Opalaca was bittersweet for a man after he ran into one of his favorite celebrities, reggaeton singer Chocolate MC. But that excitement turned to terror when Chocolate attacked his fan with a gun and kidnapped him with the victim's own car, according to records. I saw a white gun pointed at me, the victim tells NBC6. I didn't want to fight back because what if he pulled the trigger and shot me? The gun turned out to be fake, but with that toy gun, Chocolate, whose real name is Josvani Sierra Hernandez, managed to allegedly kidnap the victim.
He admitted it was a toy gun that looked like a mini Glock to scare the victim.
The victim says Chocolate forced him into the car, and records show he told the fan to drive around to different places for about 2 hours.
I'm not well. I recognize that I'm not well.
It's not the first time Chocolate gets arrested.
I recognize that I'm not well. I recognize that I'm not well. We got somebody in the comments over here says, no, it wasn't. Moving forward said, but that's funny. What else we got? Live only, he's looking, trying to get him to see it's that, not spamming. Okay, No Face says, okay, I care not. What else? Mad Hatter says he gonna get chocolate. Where he going? Motherfunkin' Bone says, once again, from my hometown, Miami. I love it. Nancy DC says, stuck on stupid. Crank Belt says, singer should be deported as was. And was. Okay. Doe, sounds like something Chris Brown does to fans. Ooh.
The artist has a list of pending charges, including for allegedly offering money and promoting a murder for hire plot to kill an inmate charged in the 2024 murder of Cuban reggaeton singer El Tiger in Miami.
And because Chocolate violated his release by picking up that kidnapping charge, a judge denied granting him a bond, so he must stay in jail until his trial. In Miami, Christian Colon, NBC6.
Only on 6 vid.
Chocolate, and it's hilarious. I mean, I'm a rapper, but it's like the names that people come up with. Chocolate, and he happens to be dark skinned. Well, Chocolate, you ain't got no bail. In jail without the bail. In jail because you failed. Rah! They said, come here for a minute. Watch your head. He's in there like this. Then he's like, I don't know what's going on with my head. Well, guess what? We're going to get you some evaluation. We're going to sit you down long enough. We're going to figure it out. We're going to give you a nice long sit down, and you're going to figure it out real quick, y'all. You're going to figure it out real quick. Come on now. We're going to keep on staying in the same place. That's right. Who said it? Where he at? They staying in my town. That's right. That's why don't want to leave right now, because we got so much Miami going on. What's his name? Motherfunkin' Bone. Motherfunkin' Bone is walking out the door with his briefcase to go to work. But he's like, yo, how you gonna play all the Miami stuff today when I gotta go to work? Because it just happened to happen today, motherfunkin'. Yes, we got this object that crashes through a windshield of a car traveling along the I-95 in Florida. Luckily, this woman keeps control of the car and she does not get hurt. She was doing about 70 miles per hour. She's a good driver, gotta give her that. Because this situation, I'm a new driver. I don't know if I would have been able to handle it the way that she was.
Fox 35 exclusive. A driver says she was almost killed by a flying object on I-95.
Yeah, it came crashing right through her windshield, barely missing her. Fox 35's Esther Bauer has this exclusive interview.
The object went through her windshield, hit her steering wheel before falling on the floor. Farah says she has no idea how she wasn't hurt and didn't hit anyone else.
This is what hit my window.
A tire stopper leaves behind this gaping hole in Farah's windshield.
Wow. I'm thankful to be alive right now. I'm thankful that nobody else was hurt.
She was driving home from work on I-95 last month when the freak accident happened.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, my windshield imploded on me with glass and, air 75 miles an hour coming at my face.
She was able to pull off to the shoulder, and that response likely saved others.
And I commend her to be able to remain in control of her vehicle.
It's that immediate response. If it becomes chaotic, that's what can create a chain reaction of more drivers being harmed.
Right.
Yes, you want to make sure to remain in control of your vehicle. So do not overcorrect. Make sure that you reduce your speed, be able to get off on that shoulder.
FHP says these accidents are rare, but not unheard of. In February, we told you about a woman that had a battery go through her windshield on the turnpike.
It was probably the scariest thing I've ever been through.
Farrah agrees.
It could have ended so much in such a worse way than it did.
Weeks later, her car has a new windshield, but her steering wheel still needs work. She's sharing her story so drivers will be more aware and alert. She has no idea what vehicle the tire stopper came from, but now she's getting her confidence back and driving on the interstate again.
$500 and I'm still alive and nobody's hurt. I can live with that.
And Farrah thinks something else that really saved her in this situation is because she was wearing sunglasses. She had a ton of tiny glass pieces embedded in those, but they didn't go into her eyes. FHP says if you ever find yourself in a situation like this, you can call star 347 and a trooper or road ranger will get out there to help. Reporting in Brevard County, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
I gotta come to the rescue of women now, because guys always say, "Oh, women can't drive. A lot of ladies can't drive." That was a good driver. Gotta come to her defense. She was good, wasn't she? Because anybody else would have been like, all over the road. Come on, something come crashing through your window, 75 miles per hour. Come on, y'all. Double tap that screen and get those likes up. Y'all already know we are number one when it comes down to reporting this information. Because who are we? We are our bottom line. Dopest co-host in the game, and nobody messing with us. We get up at 3 o'clock, pull information, hit that button at 6 o'clock, boom, and keep on going until. That's what we do, y'all. If y'all appreciate that content, go ahead and double tap that screen to get those likes up. Come on, y'all. Who we got up in the building right now? Scary stuff, says Natalie. We got Scott that says, that's so scary, glad she's okay. Where did that come from? I have no idea. No one. There was literally 2 different dashes. Didn't even notice that. Good one. I think that's because they were doing the work and showing you guys the before and after. They showed that the glass was repaired, and then she had images of the, what was that, a car tire stop that basically did go through her window. So yes. Anytime some crazy incident can be avoided where somebody's possibly going to get hurt or something like that, chain of events, I think about it all the time when I'm riding my motorcycle. You go down on a motorcycle, you're worried about cars behind you and everything around you. So yes, we want to thank and we want to send the Lord a prayer for this, having his hand out and making sure that he guided that traffic the right way as well. We want to help. We want to pray for avoidance. We also want to pray to thank the Lord when you help us out, when you put your hand in situations and you pick up a whole situation and you guard us, because that's what our Lord does, and we appreciate you so much. And not only want to pray about the negativity, we want to pray about the good stuff. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Amen. So much for holding her in your hands and making sure that she was okay. Amen. That's right, you guys. And if y'all want to make some money, all y'all got to do is go right down to that link in that description right there, and y'all can make up to $800 in surveys. Y'all will make some money, and I will make some money too. Also, you might be a barber, mobile detailer, you could be a groomer. I don't know what you do, but if you have a flyer and you want to promote your business, send it over to bridgethisllc@gmail.com. That's right, bridgethisllc@gmail.com, 1080 by 1080. That's the size that they require to make sure that it fits perfectly inside of this post notification area in YouTube. I'll put it up. 35,000 people, because we got 35,000 subscribers, are going to see your promotion, and possibly you're going to get some more business. And where am I going to be today? I'm going to be at 22 West Circle Drive in Valley Stream. Green Acres. That's right, y'all. Green Acres Mall. Your boy, it's got the wrong date there, but yes, today is the day for the Show Your Talent search, and we're going to go right back over to LNW Wine and Liquors at 22 West Circle Drive. That's right, you guys see the flyer over there. I'm going to be out there today from 5 to 8 p.m. We're going to be doing the tasting with what? Big Drip Hard Punch. And what else are we going to be doing? The talent search. That's right. You could win $250. You could win $250. You might win $250. All you got to do is step up, Bugatti, I want to be a part of the Show Your Talent search. Show me what your talent is, and if you're in Green Acres later on today and you got the chops, you got the talent, you might be able to win, boom, $250. I'll be there today. That's right, today from 5 to 8 p.m. 22 West Circle Drive in Green Acres Mall, Valley Stream, you guys, in Queens today, but from 5 to 8 p.m. 22 West Circle Drive, Valley Stream, 11581. I done been there a couple of times, so I know the address off the top of my head. I want you guys to come, be a part of the event. Must be 21 or older in order to drink alcohol. Drink responsibly, you guys. And with that being said, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you, Rebecca, you, Mad Hatter, Doe, all of you guys, Angels, Liberty and Justice, all of you guys, Young Wolf, the fact that you guys came here to chill with me today, I appreciate you. So until tomorrow on the 4th of July, that's right, I work every day. We don't do the holiday thing around here. You're gonna see me tomorrow, red, white, and blue, Independence Day. Can't wait till tomorrow. Hope you guys stay safe. Be careful, love your family, and have a fantastic holiday, you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. With that being said, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So until tomorrow, you guys, see you then. Get 'em! One. Peace. Ha ha. Yeah.